Hello and welcome back. My name is Ben-Shushan, and in this video I'm going to share with you how to install Windows Server 2019 as a virtual machine inside Oracle VirtualBox. Like the previous video that I show how to install Windows 10 as a VM, I'm going to share with you the same process to install Windows Server 2019 as a VM. The procedure is the same, but the edition is different. In the previous video I show you how to install desktop edition of Windows, and in this video I'm going to show you how to install server edition. These videos can give you solid foundation for how to install and configure Windows, so in the next videos you can provision and create a lot of virtual machines as you need in order to simulate all the labs and the tasks and the features and the deployments that I'm going to share with you. So let's start. So again, I'm in the Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager. If you don't have the ISO file, the installation media of Windows Server, you can get evaluation. I just want to remind you. So you are going to your search engine, typing Microsoft Evaluation Center, and from there you can go and pick up whatever you like to test. Choosing ISO file, I showed that in the earlier video of Windows 10, but again, if you don't view the Windows 10 video or forgot that, so here it is again, Windows Server 2019. Choose ISO, click on continue, fill all the required information, and after that you can use the Windows Server 2019 ISO image file. So after we obtain the ISO image file of the Windows, I click on new under the Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager and create a new virtual machine. Let's give it a name, Windows Server 2019, and under version I'm opening the drop-down list and choose Windows 2019. Please note there is no 32-bit, unlike the 10 edition. Windows Server 2008 R2 and later on are only 64-bit edition, so please keep that in mind. I supply the memory size for the virtual machine and click on create. Now I choose VMDK. I explained it earlier in the Windows 10 video why I choose VMDK, and dynamically allocated, and again 100 gigs of disks space. Now I'm clicking on create and start. From the select startup disk wizard, I'm clicking on this icon and choosing different ISO file to attach. This is the ISO file of the Windows Server 2019. I'm selecting that and clicking on choose and clicking on start. From now on, the wizard is the same for Windows Server 2019, but again I will review with you everything so we don't miss anything. The language is English that we are going to install, and the time and currency format is English as well, and the keyboard layout is US. I'm clicking on next and clicking on install now. In this wizard, we'll type the product key. If you don't have a product key of the Windows, you can click on I don't have product key and insert that key later. The product key is 25 unique characters CD key. So because this is a live video, I choose I don't have the product key in order not to reveal the product key with you. I thought I can stop the video and enter that. And here I got two main options: to install Windows just like that and with desktop experience. Basically, this is the most recommended way of Microsoft to install Windows Server. This is server is very a basic installation with the minimum graphical environment that needed to be performed, also known as server core, and the desktop experience is the full graphic user interface that we all familiar with by clicking on the start and all the icons. Due to the fact I'm going to share information with you in step by step, I think that the desktop experience edition will be the best. If you want to work with the minimized version, you can always choose the server core. From security perspective, the server core is more secured due to the fact that the attack surface is smaller because there is not a lot of components pre-installed, such as the .NET framework and other components that's required by default updates and patches. So I'm choosing the standard with the desktop experience and clicking on next. I read carefully the end user's license agreement, and after that I'm checking the box I accept the license terms and clicking on next. This is a new install, so I choose custom, and before clicking on next I want to mention two things. In the real world, when we are installing virtual machines, everything is fine like that, we can click on next. But if we are planning to install Windows under a physical hardware directly, most of the times we need to click on load driver and to load the storage array drivers. And my recommendation for you, if this is a physical server, to create RAID. RAID, it's a redundant array of independent disks that with a RAID controller, which is a physical storage controller card on the server, allows us to protect the data in different manners. The most popular for operating system deployment is RAID 1, also known as mirror RAID. I recommend you to use hardware-based RAID and not software-based RAID, because hardware depends on a storage controller and it's more reliable than a software RAID. So this is a virtual machine, so I just select that and click on next, and automatically all the hidden partition of the boot will be created for me. And I'll pause this video and wait for the getting files ready to finish. So I'll resume later on when the installation is under installing features. Okay, the installation of the files on the hard drive is nearly finished. There is a file name install.wim that extracted on the local hard drive, and right now the features are installed and the updates as well. After that, the server will restart itself and we'll continue the installation process. So Windows needs to restart to continue, and after that we can see again that due to the fact that the ISO file is attached, is asking us to press any key to start the installation again. Please don't touch anything, so the installation will not start from beginning and will continue after the restart that we saw earlier. If you in mistake enters the installation again, just restart your machine and it will continue to load the installation tasks from the local hard drive. Again, another restart for the machine. And here we just need to enter password for the server. Okay, so we enter a password for the local administrator account and we are clicking on finish. That's it. The server is ready, and if we are going to the server and clicking on input and insert Ctrl R delete or host del, we can log on to the server. Unlike Windows 10, that we need to accept data collection and to wait a few minutes for the user profile to be provisioned, here everything is much quicker. So after that, our server is up and running and we can start working with it. So there is basic tasks that we need to do before we are working with the server. First of all, to rename the server. So again, I'm going to the start button, right click and choosing system, or I can go to start run, type sysdm.cpl and to click on change. This is the old-fashioned, and the settings, the system is the new way to do that. Both of them get the same result. Another important thing to do is to rename the local administrator. This is security recommendation and best practice. So right click and choosing computer management, local users and groups, users, and just rename that. So I give it a unique name, something that nobody can think it's related to the administrator. This is the security best practice. Let's call it Dachshund, like the dog. And let's restart the server to see that the administrator has been changed to Dachshund. Okay, we can see that the administrator name changed to Dachshund. And from now on we can do all the necessary tasks that we need to do on the server. In the next video I'm going to show you some of the roles and features that we can install on Windows Server, and again, the most important tasks on servers, specifically on production, is to give a good name that can reveal to the right people what the purpose of this server. So in that case, I'm planning to deploy Active Directory domain services on that server in later video, so it will be a domain controller. So I'll give it a name NBS. This is the initials of my name, hyphen DC01. Click on next and restart it. I'll detach the ISO file and with host or control delete I can do a control alt delete inside the virtual machine. I can verify that the host name has been changed. The administrator name here, it's because the user profile already provisioned the administrator account, but if I type who am I see that I'm working with the Dachshund account. So two more important things to do on every server is go to the control panel. So right click, run, type control or enter in another way that you prefer, and I change the view to small icons and go to power options. Please choose high performance on every server that you are working with to give a good performance to the server. And the second thing is to go to here, run again, sysdm, go to the remote tab, and to allow remote desktop, so we can remotely connect to the server and manage it remotely using RDP, remote desktop protocol. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.